So today I'm going to be building another leather belt strap pouch. So this one here, this is what I'm working on now. So again, like I told you, this black belt, this was just a leather belt I picked up from Value Village. It was $5. I've gotten quite a few things out of this so far. I will show you my the peanut lighters holders that I actually have. I have it on my waist right now, so I don't want to have to take it off. One thing that I would say is something I would suggest is, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe for some of these belt pouches that I'm creating, it'd probably be nice to have it so that when it goes on the belt, I don't have to take off the whole belt to take it off. Maybe I could just set it up so that I've got the snap on one end, but the fastener on the rivet on the top, and then the snap on the bottom. That way it's not such a pain to try and take off the whole belt to do the whole thing. So I have noticed that, so maybe I'll work on that here pretty soon too. As you can see, I haven't gotten a tripod yet, so it's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing, but I will get one here soon. And for now, I've got it so that I can just place my phone up a little bit so it's not shaking around and stuff like that. So yeah, what was I going to say? Okay, so this is going to be a side pouch. Now I'm going to have to do it a little differently because it's not wide enough to be full-size pouch, so I'm going to have to mess around with it and add to it so that when I go to do it, it's going to be wide enough to carry what I want to carry and what I'm looking to carry. Now this is I'd love for it to just be this size, which you never know, I could end up keeping it really thin. The only problem is that I have to arrange it so that the belt can actually go through with a loop, so it's got to be a little bigger than this, just wide enough so that my belt loop can go through and keep fasteners on the ends. Rivets, sorry. So what this pouch is going to be for, this is going to be for my snare wire. I found that the snare wire that I'm carrying and stuff, it's going to be a couple pieces. Right now I've got 3 snares in my fishing kit. That's good, it's better than nothing, but I mean, we're talking 2 rolls of snare wire carried with you on your belt in case of an emergency. This thing here, I mean, think about how many times you can set a snare with this much wire. We're talking, one of these days I'll actually take all this wire apart, I'll unroll it, I'll cut it into individual strips, and I will see how many snares I can actually get from one roll of this. And this is just basic wire from the dollar store, so it works just as fine as any of the other rabbit snares themselves. So yeah, don't be fooled into thinking you can't go to the dollar store and buy things that are actually useful. Now of course I wouldn't say there are some things that I just would stay away from, and I've learned over the years to just, even though it looks good, stay away from it. So this will be a video of my belt pouch that I'm creating for my snare wire, so I can carry 2 rolls of snare wire with me when I go out. And again, if I'm carrying this on my belt, I don't have to then carry it in, although I might carry it anyways regardless, because I love to have options. But I'm going to definitely, if you think about it, if you have it here on your belt and it's no weight at all, it takes away from the bulk that you have to put inside your backpack when you're when you're going out to the woods or whatever you need to do. So this is going to be, I've created it so it's the same length as the snare wire, bent. It's okay if it's popping up from the sides. Like I said, this belt will be coming up, and I'm going to do something where it's kind of like 2 snaps here, here, so that it's got that there, and then on the back I'll have enough room to be able to put my belt loop on it. That's the plan. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, so we're going to see here right away. Okay, it might be even better for me to turn it this way and just mount it so that it's protected this way, so we'll see. I'm going to think about it and show you as I go along what it turns into, because I find that happens. I start out with one idea and it just turns into something else entirely. So we'll just continue on like that. This is just a temporary rivet. It's not actually hammered in. It's just there to hold it so I can show you guys what it is that I'm trying to do. So yeah. So all it is a piece of leather belt that I cut, drilled 2 holes on the ends, put the rivet through, then the other piece would go over top, goes in, and then you take your rivet. If you look at my videos, you can see the tutorial of it. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not rocket science. You put it on the top, and then you take your piece of metal. Where are you? It comes with this kit, and you put this kit underneath, just to nest that there, so it's sitting on top. And then what you would do is you take, this comes with the kit too. There's 2 ends. There's one that you hit with the hammer, one that's rounded off, and you would put this over top of that button, and then you hit it. Simple, straightforward. You hit it hard. You don't hit it too hard, just tap it. You know, tap it until it doesn't really want to go anymore. Don't over tap it, otherwise you're going to end up denting your rivet too. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing now, and I'll let you guys know. I'll show you some more after I get some of it done, okay? I got to brainstorm here and start thinking it over. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to continue doing this now and get the rest finished and get back to you. This is just adding on to the pouch that I've made for the rabbit snare. So I still have some work here to do. I've got to add these pieces onto the rivets. I pushed them through, but I got to add them onto here. So yeah, that's what I'm doing next. There's a rabbit snare. So we have now a pouch after I get those other pieces done to carry just rabbit snare, which is awesome because it just adds to your hunter-gatherer, you know, tool. I would suggest maybe getting yourself some snares. You know, there's people that talk about maybe not going out to the woods and staying in the city, and it's worst if you go out into the woods. And I watched a video the other day of these 3 guys that just sat there and talked about how don't go to the hills because we don't want you. And there's people out here that aren't going to let you come out because they're there, and all this stuff. Well, that's very true, but there's a lot of land. And not only that, but in that same video later on, they're talking about how they need to survive in groups, and live in the hills in groups and everything. I'm going, okay, well, why are you telling people not to come out there, you dummies? So anyways, just stupid stuff like that. People they're professionals, and in the meantime, they're going totally against what they're saying. They're saying the total opposites in their videos that they're actually preaching. So you know, in the end, it's not going to be about, well, what did this person say? What did that person say? It's going to be, how are you going to provide for your family? That's it. It's not going to be about, a job. It's not going to be about houses and mortgages and all this other stuff. That's just stupidity. That's going to be gone if there were something really that was going to happen. I mean, there's a few. I deal with I deal with disasters all the time. And I see what happens, and I see how the government handles it. We own a disaster relief group, and it's just a bunch of volunteers that come together because the government's not doing that with their own employees. So we've been going for 4 years now, I think, and helping hundreds of thousands of people try to get back into their homes after a fire or a flood, or just even outreach programs and stuff. So if you want to check it out on Facebook. It's under the Postmen. It's on YouTube too, under the Postmen. But yeah, the reality of it is somebody asked me the other day, is how is the government going to help us if something happens? And it was a genuine question, and they wanted to know if there's anything in place that the government has set up with us or other agencies. And I said, no, there's nothing. They don't want to help you. Their main focus is, one, keeping the government in order, intact. And two, it's about political gain. What can they get at that point? And if you're looking for supplies, it's not, these supplies that everybody's getting in disasters and stuff are not coming from the government. These supplies are coming from people. That's why we say we're the Postmen, and we're for the people, by the people. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And that's simply because it's people helping people. It has nothing to do with getting any kind of aid or anything like that. It's the hearts of men and women. It's how they feel about serving one another. And that's where your donations are going. It's if you donate to the larger groups. I'm going to avoid saying the name, but if you're donating cash to these larger groups, your money's not going to these evacuees immediately. Your money's going into a bank account, which then collects interest. And that's why when people go to claim money in a disaster, they have to wait weeks sometimes to gain their money, to get it, because they need to gain interest on that money. So the more money you give these people, the longer it sits in the bank to collect the interest, and they will then go to the smaller groups and ask the smaller groups to start collecting from other people in order to hand out actual donations. And the reason for that is because if your money's going to that bank account, they don't want to take it out. They want to go to the smaller groups to do their bidding. With us, it's different because we're not their lackeys. We don't go out and hand out supplies in their name. We do it for you guys that give it to us in trust to make sure that your can of soup ends up in the hands of an evacuee or somebody from that's been had to be taken out of a disaster area. Not only that, but we're also helping out first responders, people that are actually there on the front lines helping. So this is the difference. I know about disasters. I know what the possibility is. I know how we're going to be helped if there is a disaster. And I'm telling you, if you're counting on the government in any way to help you, you're not going to make it. That's the bottom line. You're not going to make it unless you have somebody that's going to come alongside you and help you. That's a person, not somebody that's actually involved in a group, as far as like government group. So there's no way. Don't be stupid. Don't count on the government to give you the next bottle of water, because it ain't happening. The only bottle of water you're gonna get is if you have it or if you know somebody that has it. So, anyways, guys, I don't want to make you all paranoid, but the point being is that like I said, I deal with this stuff all the time, and there's no help coming in a disaster. It's people that are coming in a disaster to help you, or it could be good or it could be bad. The other day I was asked about earthquakes in Alaska, and how much water did we serve people with over the last few years in a disaster. And they were asking me questions and stuff, and I passed on some numbers to people to help them out with that information. They were from a magazine, and in the end, there's no help from people, so no help from the government. And oddly enough, within the next few days, Alaska had a huge earthquake. So yeah, we've been contacted from some government organizations, and we've been asked to help out in certain places for mudslides, and even before they happened. They knew about it before it happened. They contacted us and told us, "Hey, can you help us out if there's a mudslide in, say, this area in BC?" And sure enough, the next couple of days go by and there's a mudslide in BC that's taken out a lot of land, a lot of people, and people were taken out of their homes. So, these guys know about the stuff happening before it's happening. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm actually telling you, I've been in contact with these government organizations. That they're not hidden. They're not. It's nothing like that. It's not a conspiracy thing. It's these bigger groups are saying, hey, if something were to happen, are you prepared to help us out because we can't handle it? And the bottom line is no, nobody is prepared. There is not enough support, volunteers. There's not enough people that are prepared ahead of time in order to help. The number of people that we have in this world, really. So in this country, there's too many people and not enough people preparing. We've become lazy, and we really don't have the know-how. Anyways, back to the whole thing that led me into that. People need to be prepared. It may seem stupid right now, but in the end, if something were to happen, I'm praying that the Lord doesn't allow that to happen, anytime soon, other than Him coming back, of course. But if there were something to happen, be prepared. And the only way to do that is to be smart, investigate, do your homework, look into what I'm saying, and not just me, but thousands of other people that have come before me. From hundreds of years ago, things were happening that people needed assistance. So do your homework. The only reason why we were able to help with the Fort.McMurray fire so quickly was because we had supplies on hand. We were prepared, and we were able to get up and help people immediately without wasting time trying to go and seek donations and stuff like that from the grocery store. Sure, of course, we went after the fact that we got them immediate help, but in the meantime, we had to have stuff on hand to get up there to give them a hand, help them as they were being evacuated. If you haven't heard about the Fort.McMurray wildfire, check it out. It was called the Exodus, and it's Fort.McMurray, Alberta, Canada. That's where I was born and raised. So up there, it's nothing. It's just a ton of bush. It's beautiful woodlands, and I really miss it. So I'm going to be going up there to do a bunch of bushcraft videos, probably this summer. So stay tuned for those. Yeah. So anyways, after we managed to get them the immediate help, we also had groups of people going to the grocery stores and sitting outside collecting donations. And just thank the Lord that were people willing to step up and help, not only collect donations, but get out there and serve other people by delivering those donations to people. But like I said, it's all about preparation. Be prepared. And if you're not prepared for your family, then you're not going to be any good to anybody else. So first, you be prepared for yourself. Build your bug out bags. Build your long-term survival bag. Put away your water. I mean, save your 4 liters of water. We do. Save your 4 liters of water, of milk, and clean them out, seal them up, and put them in the garage or whatever. I don't care. Do something with them and just save them. Anyways, snares, snare wire. Simply put, you can put it on your belt, and you've got tons of snare wire. The more snares you got out, the more chances of an animal, rabbit, squirrel, whatever. Okay, and we'll be doing videos that show you how to set them and stuff as we go by this summer and the summers to come. So anyways, guys, God bless and thanks for watching.